Okay, I just turned on my stove just now, so that is about a 3 or 4. Actually, no, it's a 4. So if you're on electric grill, you want to set it to about a 4 just before the medium placings, which are 5, 6, 7. But definitely on a gas stove, you want to put it on a lower flame for sure. So I'm about to throw in about 2 tablespoons of butter. Let those melt down at that temperature, just because you don't want it to get any burnt, because a higher temperature will burn the butter and you'll have to start over with melting the butter. So I'm going to use a fork just to make sure I get a good grasp on those, to spread it around and let those melt down. Now that bubbling, don't be too worried about it. That's exactly what you kind of want, the same kind of like nice yellowy conditioning to it, so that way it's melted down. And now I'm going to use that same fork to measure out about 2 tablespoons of flour, because you want to match for every tablespoon of butter to every tablespoon of flour for this, because I'm using a French roux method. So there it goes into the pot, and that another little bit there. That's about right for what I wanted. So now I'm going to whisk that all in together. Make sure I get ready for that nut oak smell, that nutmeg smell. There we go. It's like a nice oaky smell or kind of going there. And that bubbling, that's exactly what you want, that color, that consistency, just before you begin to add your milk. And I'm going to add my milk about a quarter cup at a time, just to get it all whisked in there, so it's nicely even put up together. Now that's, you don't want to put in all at once, because it helps to like build the sauce even better. So now I want that paste kind of look for a second, let that bubble, and throw in another quarter cup of milk. It doesn't look like a quarter cup because of the speed, because I have it going pretty fast. So yeah, that's exactly what I want. My fork is looking pretty well coated, and that's, yep, that's what I want right there. So I grab the nope, I'm gonna whisk it a little bit more, and I'm going to add a bit of salt and pepper to it. Now, most of that I added in for the salt. The most that I added was about a quarter of a teaspoon, but I think you could go for a little less, like maybe even half of that, just because the pasta what I'm going to add is going to be so much already flavored that you're not going to eat it. And there's a little pepper, and I'm going to whisk that in together. No milk. Now I'm going to add the pasta water. So a little bit of that, just a little splash, maybe a little more. Either way, it's going to cook out and evaporate pretty fast for what you're trying to do. So the fork is still pretty coated, and now I'm going to add in about a quarter cup of the cheese, and maybe just a little bit more for that. So I want those to whisk together pretty well, because I want to get that cheese really melted down into the sauce, so it can really, yeah, you're making macaroni and cheese. You want it to be nice, smooth. You don't want it to be too clumped or unevenly spread for the macaroni and cheese. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of whisking. If you're not somebody used to whisking a pot pretty much, it's going to be a little tiresome. It can be, but you're making macaroni and cheese from scratch. It's still all good. That nice little drip off the fork, that's what you wanted first. So yeah, just keep that stirring, keep that going. By the way, I never changed the heat on this. I kept that to a 4 the whole time. Yeah. So yeah, finally getting down to a little bit more meltiness. Just before it's fully melted down though, I'm gonna eventually grab the pasta so I can throw it in. So that way the pasta can start cooking with the sauce a little bit, but also trying to keep the cheese from being too far gone. So yeah, that's where it at, mostly melted down. There goes my pasta. Yep. Going from fork to big old wood spoon. But oh, there I go, knocking the camera over. Videography is not my friend today. So yeah, there we go. Get a nice mixing together. Let it all cook and seep in so that way the cooking and the pasta water really helps for it to bind to the pasta itself. And the secret ending for a macaroni and cheese is to always throw a little bit more cheese into it. No more than a light sprinkling over the top, so that's why I only have like a few cubes there. But cubes always make for a good like little cheese nugget in the end, which is very satisfying to get every once in a while for a bite. So yeah, just mixing that all together, getting the macaroni sounds in there. So yeah, showing off a little bit. That's what you want. That nice coating on a spoon is also a good indicator that you did it pretty well. So now I'm grabbing a bowl just to, try out a little bit for myself. I threw a cheese nugget back in there because I had one already. So now I'm eating it scrumptious. Yep, you're gonna see my bowl almost completely clean and empty. Yep, and seal of approval comes down right about now. Seal of approved. Yep, this was a good